Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Grue. And for the Grue today, we got a very special guest. Her name, Sheri Davis. She is a screen queen. She is a woman of horror. She is a writer, director, producer, and actress and host. And I'm really looking forward to talking to her. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host of Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Room. And the interview with Sheri is coming up next.
I'll take my
Okay.
gum out.
All right. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time out of your night and coming on the show tonight.
Well, thank you for having me.
Definitely, and hi to the little girl there, Bowie.
Bowie. Yes. Say hi, Bowie. Say hi, Bowie. I know. She'll, like I said, she'll be in and out the whole time.
Yeah, okay, no problem. So wanted to start out by asking you, like, you act, produce, direct, and write. So how did you get started in doing everything? Like, you wear many hats.
Literally. I didn't have time to do my hair because I was at the lake with my daughter doing paddle boats. So
Nice,
this is
nice.
this is what we get today. This is thrown together.
There you
Um,
go.
so yeah, I mean, I it's so weird. I mean, I'm like so blessed that I've done the things that I've done because I completely fell into this crazy business. I was on a set with my older daughter, was a child actor,
Hmm.
and I was on a set with her. Someone didn't make it to set that day, for whatever reason, and I'm cleaning pizza boxes, doing my thing, and it's everyone's in a panic. And how do we get someone? This was an LA actress flying to Dallas. We lived in Dallas. And lo and behold, they're like, "Do you act? Who are you? Do you act? Are you background? Like, are you, what are you?" And I was like, terrified, terrified. And within about 2 to 3 hours, I was in front of the camera.
Wow.
Headlines, and it was a television movie, and you had to call the agent. It was SAG, and it just, and they just kept saying to me, "Don't look into the camera. Just don't look into the camera." And I mean, it wasn't like a ton of lines, and it was
Yeah,
natural mom talk,
yeah.
so it wasn't anything crazy. But I mean, and then I had done, when I was younger, I did some swimsuit and fitness wear modeling and things
Oh,
like
okay.
that. And so for me, I was trained to look into the camera. So most of the time. So for me, I was so terrified that my eyes were going to spike the camera.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
I was shaking. I was nervous. I was like going to the bathroom every 5 minutes and sweat. It just, but that's how I did it. I mean, I was, in acting classes all the time with my daughter, sitting outside of the room taking notes where I could hear everything and help her later.
Yeah.
Um, and my ex was also an actor
Oh, okay.
as well, so I was learning the business, kind of the business side of things. And then I did a ton of background work and started working crew positions. I would PA or whatever, but my whole thing was just learning the business of
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Didn't really know that I wanted to act. I just thought it was amazing to see how the whole thing came together, the whole
Nice.
process. So, yeah, kind of a long answer, but it's kind of
No, it's
crazy.
great.
That's what happened. So, yeah, and here I am, 10 or so years later.
Wow. And
Yeah,
like, I was looking at all the films you've done, and you've done a lot of horror films. And
I have.
and like, I my site, my show is basically a horror show. Like, I'm a big fan of horror. My best friend is a big fan of horror, and we run a horror site, and this show is part of the site. And every time I have guests on, I always ask them their favorite horror movies. And so, like, this is great to have someone who actually has starred in numerous horror films.
Yeah, I definitely got the Scream Queen title really quickly. But my favorite, I have two favorite kind of horror franchises. My favorite is Hellraiser, um,
Nice.
and then my second is probably The Nightmare on Elm Streets. So those are like my two favorite. There's an artist who I love who's an indie filmmaker too, and he surprised me and did some artwork of me, with Pinhead, and I was just totally
Nice.
freaked out. I was like, "Oh my god, you don't even know how cool I think this is," you know. Yeah, those would be. So again, I don't know that I can pick just one, but those are kind of my franchises. Like that, if they're on, I'm
Yeah.
flipping, or I'm gonna watch them every time.
Oh wow, nice. Like
Yeah. How about
besides
you? What's yours?
me, like well, then of course I'm a fan of like Halloween and Nightmare and Friday the 13th, Pinhead, Texas
Uh huh.
Chainsaw, Chucky. But I also like some horror movies that like a lot of people never heard of. Like there's a movie called Demon Wind. I don't know if you ever
Mm-hmm.
heard of that one.
What's it called? Demon Wind?
Yeah, Demon Wind,
Okay.
like like the
Yeah, I
air
don't know
blowing.
this. When is it a newer or older or
No, it was made in like 91, I think it was.
okay?
And
Huh.
and I'm a
Where
fan
was
of
it
that.
made? Was it in the US? Was it somewhere else?
Oh no, it was made here. It's like
Okay.
a version, like a even more low budget version of the Evil Dead. It's something
Okay.
along those lines.
Okay. I gotta write that down, or I gotta self remember that because I haven't heard of that one.
Okay. And
And that's what's cool about working with people like you and doing
mhm,
interviews and doing conventions and things is I'm constantly like I was raising kids
yeah,
like
yeah.
and that's probably why I know more of the horror movies from the 80s and early
Gotcha.
90s, because that's kind of the time that these were all so big. I mean, I tell people I literally, being from Texas, we had drive-in movies, and I saw, like, I remember watching Friday the 13th at the drive-in movie. Like, we saw
Nice.
these outside at the drive-in movie. It was such a different time. But yeah, Demon Went. Okay, I gotta watch.
And did you ever see prom night too?
I do remember. I don't know if I've seen the whole thing, but I know I've at least caught part of that one.
I
You like?
love that movie. The Mary Lou was the girl that like she was at her prom and she got killed and then her ghost comes back to 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 haunt the prom and stuff, and that's really good. I like that.
Yeah, my favorite type movies are, if we're going like subgenres of horror, my favorite type are more the haunting type.
Yeah, yeah.
Psychological, the like messing with you, suspense, edge of your seat. Like that's the kind of thing that does it for me. Where
Okay.
you're sitting suddenly you're like you think something's going to happen and then it doesn't, but then later something does and you jump out of your seat. You know, something that's got an actual really good plot to it, a
Hmm.
storyline too. So okay, I now have new
Nice.
movies to watch.
Yeah, right. And you're also a host too. You host Lone Star Horrors, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually leaving next week to go shoot some more episodes,
Oh
and
wow.
we film in Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Whoa, I never heard of that town.
Yeah, there's a television station there, and
Okay.
and yeah, they have these shows with all these different, and they threw this idea at me, and they dug up all these old movies that are movies I've not even seen or
Oh
even
wow.
heard of. A lot, there's black and white movies, And so the cool thing is like they look up all the history for me. They give me all the history. And then I try to watch all the movies before I go and do the hosting for them, of course.
Yeah, of
You know,
course.
I want to know what the hell I'm talking about firsthand. But yeah, and then they kind of write me a script, and then I collaborate and I add or take away or whatever. And I absolutely like it is one of my favorite things I'm doing. Like I hope
Nice.
this builds and this continues because I love working with this group. They're also indie filmmaker group,
Oh,
also in
nice.
filmmakers. So I'm actually leaving next week, and I'm filming in a movie there, and then we're shooting more episodes.
Oh, wow.
And I love that group, and it's a beautiful, beautiful area. It's like not far from Oceanside, which
Okay.
has like the big, huge, historical, colonial type houses, like not far from the beach. Every time a hurricane hits, they get knocked down, and but it's just a beautiful, beautiful place, and it's a great group. So it's
Nice.
super, super fun. I love it.
And is it another horror film that you're shooting? You say you're also going to be doing a film
Yes.
plus that? Nice.
With Jeremy London and Corn Nemec, and they're already filming.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I, I know who Jeremy is. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna yeah. So they've already been shooting for I don't know a couple of weeks, I guess. So I'm in the ending of the movie. Let's
Oh,
just not gonna give anything away.
of course not. What's the name of the
Yeah,
movie?
and it's called Interfere 2,
Oh, nice. All right.
the new wave or the next wave. I don't know. I'm off, but it's Interfere 2.
All right. There you go. And like what drew you into the world of horror?
I think maybe just like being a child of the 80s,
Yeah.
80s horror. I mean, everybody that loves horror talks about 80s
Oh, of
horror. I mean,
course.
it doesn't get better than how it was in the 80s and the early 90s, like you
Mm-hmm.
brought up. And so I think I just grew up in that age of, those kind of movies. And probably being from like a small southern Bible Belt town, maybe it was a little bit of rebellion of I'm going to watch the kind of movies I shouldn't be watching, or whatever. But I don't know. I think I just like to be scared,
Okay.
and then Nightmare on Elm Street. You've also got the comedy in it.
That's
You've got
true.
timing and some of those as well. So, um, and then I feel like the 80s horror also everyone was good looking. It's like all the women were gorgeous, all the guys were hot. It was like nobody was bad to look at either. So, why not? You know, Teenage me, and then also the thrill of having VHS
Mm-hmm.
and going to the family video in my small town, and then the Blockbuster in the town over, and
Okay.
just opening the shelves. And it's so funny because so many of my like Scream Queen fan or friends, I've heard them say the exact same thing in interviews. Like I read an interview with my friend Sarah French, and she said
Oh
that,
yeah.
and I was like, oh my god, like that's the exact same thing. Like I feel, but I'm a little older than her, but it's just that feeling of excitement of it's Friday or Saturday night, and I get to go pick out two movies and take them home and watch them. It just that time period. So
Nice. Nice. Uh,
yeah.
I used to love that too. Like just running over to a little small store that had VHS tapes to rent and rent.
Absolutely.
I rented out the whole horror area like when
Oh
I was
yeah,
a kid.
the thrill
Oh
of
my.
it. The thrill of it. Yeah, and our town, they were kind of a separate room because
Mm-hmm.
all the main Bible Belt people didn't want to see that kind of stuff.
I bet.
So they were in the back room, and and you had to go into the back room to see the things that were R. So,
Nice, nice.
you know, everything else was like, where the red fern grows and, stuff like that, or the family movies, but you got to go in the back room and then you're kind of looking around,
To
to
see if
see
the
who's
people are there, right?
getting the video. Back when you could do that,
Yeah,
now you got to be what, 17, 18 to get into an R movie?
yeah, I know exactly, exactly. That's crazy. Oh man, wow, that's bringing me back now to being a
Right?
kid and
Doesn't it?
renting VHS horror movies. Damn.
Yeah, and the worst was when the cassette would start to kind of skip, and then
Yes,
and you're like, no, rewind, play, on the VHS like we did on the cassette tapes.
that's exactly.
It's what we did. Yeah.
Yeah, there was no internet and downloading movies, and there was
No.
VCR player, VHS tape, and you have to wait for the movie to come out on VHS after you saw it in the movie theater. You couldn't go to see it in the movie theater, then go home and download it.
Oh yeah. I didn't do the downloading thing though, but I know a lot of my friends did. What was it when was it Redbox or Netflix when the movies first started coming in the mail, and
Yeah,
then you
yeah.
send them back? Yeah, like the guy I was dating, he would burn everything. He would get as many as he could and burn them and then send them back. And now being in this industry, I realize how bad that was. But you even did it.
I
See,
know,
you told on yourself.
I know. I did.
A lot of people did that then.
Yeah, yeah. That was like the thing everybody did when it it
When they
first
went to
started
disc.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah, when they went to disc.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're
And,
aging ourselves. It could be worse. Hey, I own it at this life. It could be way worse.
true, true. And you were mentioning Sarah French, and I I'm actually friends with. Yeah, I saw you did a horror movie, and I'm actually friends with two people you did a
Okay.
horror movie with at the same time. You did one with Sarah French. I'm actually friends with her because she used to live in Philly, and that's where I
Uh-huh.
live at. And Charles Chutabala.
Chudabla.
Yeah, it's true. I always say his name wrong, even though he's my friend.
Yeah. Charles. Yes, I consider Sarah one of my good friends. And
Nice.
we're just together for their Pretty Boy premiere, and she's that whole entire group: Marcel Waltz, Joan Netter. I absolutely adore them. I consider them, even though we don't get to see each other all the time, I do
Hmm.
consider them, family. I consider those. LA is very pretentious. It's a whole different world, this business. You don't know who you can trust, and those are three people that I wholeheartedly would trust.
Nice.
I
Nice.
truly, they're good people, they're good friends, they're talented. Sarah has worked her butt off to
Oh,
get where
she
she
really
is,
has.
and she deserves all the accolades that she's getting. Absolutely.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, because I did like a couple horror films. It was like low budget horror films that I acted in, and because my friend at the time was making horror movies, and he told me wanted me to do a movie because I used to wrestle, and he thought my character looked good, and Sarah French was actually in one of those movies that I
Oh
did,
my
and
God,
that's how
I
I
really want
became.
to now. You got to tell me what it is. Got to tell me what it is.
The evil brew it was called.
The evil what?
The evil brew, and
Okay.
then she was in another one with us, the half-life horror from hell.
Okay. I haven't seen some of her earlier stuff,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna have to go back.
And
Sarah and I've done several films together, but I
nice.
don't know that we've been on camera together a
Oh
lot,
really?
which is kind of crazy.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. When I first moved to LA, I think she had just moved here not long before that, and she messaged, saying, "Hey, we need an actress for this film, yada yada yada." and I messaged her and I was like, "Hey, I'm available." Like I
Yeah.
just moved here and finished another film, and we worked on that film, and it's never been released.
Oh no.
It's never been released. Yeah,
Oh.
that was the first film that we did together, you know,
Okay.
and yeah. So, but no, she's great to work with, and
Oh,
she's a sweetheart.
definitely. And, and like with like horror fans, like me myself, I'm a horror fan, and I find that like horror fans are like the most loyal fans you can have. And
Absolutely.
do you ever do horror conventions?
I was doing them more when I, was in the film festival circuit. Like I
Mm-hmm.
did a film, I can't even remember what year it was now, but I did a indie film, and it was called Snake with a Human Tail, and it took off. I mean, it was just so disturbing and twisted, and the timing of when it came out, it drew a lot of attention. We actually had people like what's like picketing, like not to have the movie play and stuff. Like it
Oh.
was crazy, and it came out when Spotlight came out. The movie Spotlight,
Mm-hmm.
came out. It was dealing with the same subject matter. It was the Catholic priest molesting children. So
Oh.
disturbing, and it was in the news a lot at the time. And so the timing of when we did this film, and then also it dealt with other things. It was dealing with, my character was transgender,
Oh,
um,
okay.
prostitute, and was a drug addict, and had been molested by this priest as a child. And so it's very dark, very twisted, very disturbing. But the whole thing was like that took off, and because it took off, that was how I first got involved in film festivals and horror conventions.
Oh,
I had
wow.
I had never been to one of either, and it's all from that one indie short film.
Wow. I mean, by being at the horror conventions though, it's
Yeah,
crazy, isn't it? Like the
it's
amount of
amazing.
fans that are there, and oh my God.
Super, super cool. And all of that's changed a lot too,
Well, yeah, I know.
as well. With COVID, it's affected all of the conventions so much. But I don't know. I have people ask me, if I want table, or if I want to come to this one, or if I want to come to that one. And as much as it's super, super fun, and I love it. I mean, I'm lucky to say that I'm so busy that I actually have not been able to do anymore since they've started back up.
Oh, okay.
Um, and I don't even know if I could. Like my schedule is just that crazy. So I don't know. I would just have to see, and I would have to see if it would be like financially worth it as well. Because me being
Exactly.
an indie and not being someone that did, a bigger film like A Nightmare on Elm Street, or like Felissa, Sleepaway Camp,
Mm-hmm.
something that came back around later and became a cult classic. So because I don't have one big, film like that under my belt, not as many people know me, of course, either.
Okay.
But I do enjoy it, and especially if I go back to Texas, people do know me, in
Well, yeah,
Texas,
exactly.
like that. And then there are other areas like um, California. A lot of people like Long Beach, Midsummer, and Monster Palooza. There are conventions that know me because I've been a
Okay.
regular there. And even if I wasn't signing, like if I was filming and I ended up having just one day off, then I always go see everybody and hang out, and
Nice.
usually party.
Nice. Nice.
A lot of times I just go for the party. Let's be honest here. Party and network,
Right, exactly.
a girl's gotta, work the room.
Uh, you mentioned Felissa Rose, and I see you've done horror films with her.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And we used to live like 7 minutes apart up
mm-hmm.
by Rita. And we used to see each other more. And we shared like a table once, things like that. But I love Felissa, but I just COVID, it
Yeah,
changed everything, and she's super, super, super busy too. Like
I know
I think
she's another
I
one
always
that's always in a
say,
lot of horror films.
when we do catch up and get to talk, or we text every once in a
Mm-hmm.
while, like, hey, hope you're doing good. I know you're busy, whatever. I'm always like, you are seriously the only person I know that is busier than me. Because she's juggling her family like I do,
Uh-huh.
and does all the conventions, and she just goes on from movie to movie to movie, and then comes home and wants to spend time with her kids, and then is out again. And because she produces as well,
Yeah,
and she's always
exactly.
pulled cast together for some films as well. She'll pull people in. So yeah, she's great.
Wow. Wow, that's really a lot.
Yeah, she does a lot. She's Superwoman for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And like, how do you feel about being called a screen queen? And you're definitely a woman of horror as well.
Right. I think it was really super bizarre in the beginning because I came into this later in life. I didn't come into it, in my teen years or my early
Hmm.
20s, like the true screen queens, what I envisioned being a screen queen.
Yeah.
So for me, I was kind of like, what? Like, I'm a mom. I'm a nurse too, like what the hell? Like, how did I get that? But then I realized, oh my God, yeah, I'm like booking one horror film after
Hmm.
another, and now I'm doing conventions and I'm making appearances at film festivals, and yeah, I guess I kind of am. So then I just kind of got where I accepted it, and then I began to like it more and more because I got to see, like what you're saying, the fans are
Yeah.
absolutely incredible, like incredible. I mean, the support I get, even if someone like is trolling one of my social media, my
Hmm.
fans first wants to get on them if I miss something, and somebody says something, shitty on there, my fans are like on them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And
Exactly.
I mean, like I had one on my Facebook, and I didn't see it like till 6 hours later, and there was just a whole trail of people like losing their shit on my page.
Oh my
You
God,
know,
really?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, between that and you open up those, people that slide into your DM with those pictures you don't want to see. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get used to that either.
So, so woman get those kind of pictures too, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I got to tell you, because being a nurse for so long, I'm just like, look, honey, I've been a nurse a long time. I've seen a lot of those. It's going to take more than that to impress me. Or, I'm just
That's true. That's true.
I'm pretty quick-witted, so I always have something shitty to say.
Okay.
Like funny shitty, not just like stupid comeback or whatever, but I'm gonna it's kind of like being from Texas, the whole bless your heart. It's like how you say it
Hmm.
says what you really mean. Like, do you really mean nice bless your heart, or like bless your heart like you're a dumbass? So I'm very, very quick witted like that when I get things like that. And then there's, the crazy ones you just don't respond to, but occasionally I have to. I can't keep from it. So,
Oh. Uh, if they're that crazy, I wouldn't even say nothing to them. I would just like push them into spam.
yeah, but when you're getting marriage proposals with the picture and, all of it, the whole, yeah, yeah, you can't resist sometimes.
That's true. You're right. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny.
I can't believe people still do it, but
I
whatever.
know exactly. Like,
And then most of us, like a lot of us will share it. We'll share stuff now. Like, hey, look what so and so sent me. We call them out.
I I could just picture like you and Felissa Rose like showing each other picture.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I was on a shoot in Denver. I was on a about a year and a half ago. I think it's been a year and a half to 2 years maybe.
Okay.
And we were on set, and it was me, and Eileen Dietz and Julianne Philpott, Prescott,
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
and one of them got picked like that and opened it, and we were all standing there, and of course we all died all at once because on top of that we knew who it was. Yeah. So
Oh my
yeah,
God.
it's that's I think the thing about the whole scream queen thing that I don't love is kind of the stigma, the negative part of it,
Hmm.
which is people think if you're a scream queen, that means you're naked running around in every horror film that you
Yeah,
do, and you're
yeah.
always having gratuitous sex scenes and that kind of thing. So, or maybe that you're dumb, you're just a dumb bimbo and you sleep around, that kind of thing. So I think for me, that was the stigma at first, like I didn't want that,
Hmm.
but at the same time, like one of my favorites was Heather Langenkamp,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
so for me, she wasn't that,
Yeah.
Barbara Crampton,
She's great. Yeah.
yeah. And so to me, I kind of started thinking about it, and I thought about who my favorite ones were, and I was like, they weren't running around doing that.
Right.
And that's the thing that blows people away too, is I'm like, all the movies I've done, I've never done topless.
Oh
Not
wow.
one,
Okay.
not one film. I've had sex scenes,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they were all like, implied or sheets over, or things
Oh.
like that. But it's funny because that's a very interesting fact that a lot of people don't know is I've never done topless, and I've
Oh
never
wow.
ran from the killer and being
Well,
killed.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
like I've never been even. I'm trying to think even like bra and panties or swimsuit. There's probably only a few films
Okay.
like, and one of them being Snake with a Human Tail.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think that was the kind of scream queen thing, and it's fine. It's fine for all those that do that. That's just my choice, my
Well, yeah,
personal
of
choice.
course.
And that's something Sarah and I've talked about too, and she's talked
Hmm.
about in interviews. Is that used to kind of be her thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there are other ones who I love, like Sadie Katz. And and they joke about it. They're like, yeah, I'm the girl that's going to get naked, and run around and scream and have blood all over me and whatever. And I'm just, but, then it's also the whole, they've now are moving away from that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
they really want to be known for their acting and for their talent. It's just that they're beautiful, they're comfortable in their bodies, and they're comfortable doing that. And I just think for me, I say all the time, if I really felt like the scene was right, it was a good role, and it made sense.
Hmm.
But I'm not one to just do the gratuitous like
Well, yeah, of course.
sex scenes and things like that. So yeah,
Okay. There you
each
go.
their own. Though I have no problem. Like I said, I support my girls that do it.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing, and I think part of it being because I am a mom and I am a nurse
Well,
too.
yeah. Yeah.
That's just a whole, and on top of that, my dad's a preacher.
Yeah. You don't want
So
your
there's
dad
that.
watching them.
So there's that. Yeah. Yeah. I did a trauma film 5 years ago.
Oh, Lloyd.
I just shared it. I just found out it was on trauma. One of the actors in it shared it with me. And he said, hey, could you share this? Because he's like a lead in it. Well, all I did was
Hmm.
introduce the film, but I'm on the cover. And so my dad didn't know what trauma films were. So my dad is sharing it on his page. Preacher, everything's God, everything's church. My dad's sharing it. I text my dad, I just removed the link, so it's not on your page, but Trauma does these kind of movies. And I said they're gratuitous, there's a lot of boobs, there's a lot of this, and I was like, I just, thank you for supporting me, but I don't think that that's really what you want to share on your page for all of your
Sure.
congregation.
That's true.
And on top of that, I'm wearing a Nazi outfit. Okay. There's a lot of, yeah, there's, a lot of that just very in your face, yeah, stuff going on.
Well, that trauma films are like that, and
Yeah,
so you worked with trauma and with Lloyd.
I have not worked with Lloyd.
Okay,
They put this film. Trauma bought this one, so it went out on Trauma. It's
gotcha.
it just came out like I think a week ago. Um, I mean, my hair is jet black because my hair was normally black, and I've been redhead for I don't know, year or so now. But
Okay.
it's even funny to see because like I look so different than I looked when I did it. You know, my hair's like here big and black, and it's just different. I look different. So the typical scream queen, bright red lipstick,
Hmm.
all of that good stuff.
Oh, of course. And like by
So
being,
wants to watch a trauma film that I'm in. It's what is it? Hillbilly Frankenstein from Hell.
oh, nice. Okay. Th- That's something for me to watch. See, you want to watch The Demon Win? Now I have to watch that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll compare notes. You'll only get to see me in the opening though, and then I'm gone.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but by being in like all these horror films, like how do you get into a mind frame to play a horror role?
I honestly have never had a problem with that. I mean,
Okay.
I can turn it on and off like a light switch.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I honestly think it's because I've had to be so together. Like
Okay.
I've had everything in my life together and so much responsibility and put on, don't let anybody know how you're feeling because you're a proper Southern lady, kind of thing. So I think the thing about acting for me, I know this is what it is I get to be everything else when I act. I get to be batshit crazy. I get to be, I've played the other woman several times,
Okay.
I mean, I get to be all these other characters that are completely not how I could be in my real life, you know? Um, and it's funny because the whole scream queen thing, I
Yeah.
actually could not scream. My vocal cords could I sounded like a man with this raspy voice going, ugh. Like I would be in traffic and I would be practicing screaming, literally. And I look like a crazy person, and I'm looking over like, in traffic, like I'm practicing my screaming because my vocal cords didn't even know how to do that. It sounded like, it just was so bad.
I can picture someone in the car right next to you rolling up their window.
Oh, I do everything in my car. I'm always like I have, listen to my lines
Uh-huh.
either here or through my speaker. I record them and I play them like over and over and over and I run my lines when I'm driving.
Okay.
Um, and stuff like that. And I do both lines and I do two different voices for the lines.
Nice.
So I look like a schizophrenic in my car, which fits perfectly in LA, you know.
Yeah, that's true. You're right about that.
In Texas, people think I'm crazy because I do go down the road screaming sometimes when I'm preparing for something there. But in LA, it's just the normal thing. Nobody thinks anything about it. The
Nice.
things, but again, I've never really had a problem turning it on and off. If I have
Hmm.
dialogue, I do struggle with that a little more. Like my memorization skills are not as good as they used to be. I think I have a lot of like ADHD going on.
Okay.
I can't focus, and that tells me that I'm probably taking on too much, and I need to like slow down.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I saw your IMDb page and everything that's in like filming and post production and pre production. Like you got like a ton of horror films.
I do, I do, and then on top of that, I've optioned like two or three scripts. That the plan is, that my option agreements are going to run out a little sooner because of COVID. I've got to figure out
Hmm.
what I'm going to do with those because I really want to direct and produce those myself.
Okay.
So, there's that too. the things that aren't even on there, or the things that we're hush hush about that aren't on there. But yeah, there's a lot of things I've done the past 2 to 3 years that are not out yet that I don't have footage for, and I'm just like dying for them to come out because they're things that are like my best roles.
Oh.
Grown so much as an actor, and I'm older. I look better. I look differently than I looked when I started acting. So, I'm now growing as I'm aging. I'm going into different kind of roles, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the roles I'm getting there's a lot more substance to those roles. And then I'm also
Okay.
doing things like the kids movies,
Yeah.
and I've done doing some family films as well, like a Christmas movie. Like there's other things as well that I do, um, besides the horror. But I do love a lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun, and I have no problem. Like I love all the special effects stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
I get super super excited with all of the special effects, makeup and blood gushing
Blood squirting
everywhere,
everywhere. Yeah.
flesh falling off, and oh my god, look at my back that got ripped up from this werewolf or whatever. Uh, I totally get into it, like totally. Like I love
Well, out of all the roles you've done, like which role did you have the most fun with?
it. Wow. Probably my more recent stuff because
Okay.
again, as I've gone along, the roles have gotten better and better. The film I mentioned, Snake with a Human Tail, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's not the perfect film, but what we dealt with to shoot the film on no budget, what that's like.
Well, yeah, of
Um,
course.
and because that was the kind of role I wanted. Like I always say, my perfect role would be playing like Charlie Theron in Monster. That's like my ultimate would be my favorite role to do.
Okay.
Um, I did a film with Sarah French. Matter of fact, I don't think we have
Nice.
don't think we have any scenes together, but our premiere is next Saturday night.
Oh wow.
Um, Del Rey Film Festival. It's called Barry. It's a romantic comedy, and I'm a supporting role in it. But I love my role, and I've been dying for this film to come out. And I think it'll be great for Sarah because she's really good at comedy,
Yeah.
and I think people don't see her like that unless you know her, and she's
Mm-hmm.
really and funny. And Joe is hysterical. You know how Joe Natter is, but I think it's going to be really really good for both of us. I really do. So I love that film. I love my role in that. I play Caitlin. She's a mom who she her grief brought this bear to life that's now killing everybody.
Oh
But
wow.
I'm not all made up. I look like hell in it, and I get to have some raw emotion. And again, it's a great role. I love it. I
Okay.
love. I just finished shooting Alien Danger 2 with James Basalmo, which is a kid's, but James Basalmo is known for his adult content and trauma as well. So he definitely pushes the envelope.
Oh,
You
all
know,
right.
aimed for family and kids, but I've got feet, and I'm running around in a leotard, and it's just, it really pushes the envelope. But we had the best time because of all these alien creatures
Mm-hmm.
and crazy makeup, and my character's just so cheesy and goofy and fun. She talks to animals and she talks like this, and she's got a crush on the captain, and she's just silly fun.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah, I'm doing a lot of crazy things right now. And Arena Wars, I finished that right before Alien Danger, the
Okay.
Mahals. I absolutely love them. I love working with them. I'm and like would work with them over and over and over. And I work crew with them the whole time. I work as COVID
Nice.
compliance officer and set medic. But my role in Arena Wars is just that hosting the whole entire Arena Wars, and I come out and I'm like, "Hey bitches, what's up? Holly Days is in the house." And Brandon Slagle wrote it, and it's just it's a lot of fun. I don't feel like we get, especially indie, we don't get a lot of like good fun action films.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I feel like I've finally got some good stuff coming out.
Wow,
Not that other
nice.
stuff I did wasn't good, but I feel like the quality of the work is getting better and better. And I think as a professional, if you truly take your profession seriously, anything you do, you want to improve upon as you
Mm-hmm.
gain experience. And and that's the thing that I feel like is happening now. There's filmmakers I used to work with, and the quality was just not getting any better.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I have to talk with my manager. My manager's like, please, you've got to not do these films, and then I just, you try to leave amicably, and you just say, look, I appreciate everything you've done. I enjoyed working with you, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to piss them off. So
Yeah, because I mean, once you're like, all right, I need to go on and do other stuff, and they're like,
well, especially when you see the stuff and it's like, auditioning for, like television shows and other things that, I do regularly. It's like I can't even pull clips to use from all that work I've been doing
yeah,
because the quality.
exactly.
And then it sucks for someone to say, send me a clip of a character like this, or send me your demo reel. And I'm like, oh, I really need to update it. I really haven't had anything new that I feel like I can use. My demo reel is kind of old or whatever. And they're like, what do you mean? You just did 20 films this year, And I'm like, yeah, but the quality is maybe not so great, you know? So it's just, and it's not that I don't like those people. I totally respect those
Well, yeah.
people. That it's just a matter of, even me, like as a director, I watched the first film I directed, and I'm very proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but at the same time, I know the next thing I do, I know so much more than I knew then. And I'm also a person like I know what I don't know, and I'm going to find people that to help me know those things, to teach me those things, or to put in those positions to do their jobs that I can trust. So, yeah.
Yeah, of course. and, and like you do you have any films like coming out that you're di di directing and producing?
So there was a film that is part of an anthology called Drained,
Okay.
and shot it once. And the thing was, at the time, my ex talked me into acting in it as well. And I did not want to act in it. I only wanted to direct, and it kind of ended up not working out well because we were kind of on the verge of breaking up, and he was shooting it. And I was like, I'm scrapping it. I'm throwing it all away, doing it again. And then because I didn't want to act, I only wanted to direct. And
Yeah.
so um, that has been put off because of COVID. And I'm finally to the point, I'm just about to come around, and I'll kick out that short film and direct that. That'll be Drained. And
Okay.
then that'll be part of an anthology that I've had all the scripts for a couple of years. But I tweaked it. I tweaked the script. Some of the scripts were written for Crypt TV.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
um, there's that. They were looking for female directors, and
Nice.
that kind of thing. So, and then I already have a lot of other, and I had another anthology. Some people that approached me, and they wanted to go ahead and buy it, and I hadn't even shot it yet.
Oh,
I
wow.
was about to shoot it, and they were like, "Can you meet this deadline?" So, the whole thing is, I've got that, and then there's two other features that I have for sure on my plate that I optioned, and one of them is called With Child, and it's horror. I have honestly not directed a horror film, a straight out horror.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, I haven't. The films I directed, the first film I directed, it's got some horror elements to it. I threw
Mm-hmm.
in there with sending for my horror fans, but it really is serious content. It deals with like domestic violence and alcoholism
Oh,
in it.
wow.
Yeah, it's just got a twist to it. I
Oh,
took it a
okay.
horror for the ending, but And then the second one I directed was a comedy, um, about two older parents and their child, and they're moving in and invading her space and taking over her place. Um, with Child will actually be my first horror film that I've directed. I feel like I've
Nice.
directed others because I've been there and been like, "What are you doing?" Like, and or someone, can you please come direct me because the director's drunk and took off and isn't even here on the set. There's been things like that. Oh yeah, yeah. The horror is not just in front of the camera.
I see. Yeah.
You work indie. You learn a lot. You learn who you want to work with and who you don't. Because everybody knows everybody in this business.
Sure. Yeah.
So I've got With Child, and hopefully I can get it out before the option agreement, is done, or try to, option it longer. And then there's another one that's a Western that is beautiful. I mean, beautiful. It's called The Rancher.
Oh
And
wow.
I'm I'm so torn because I have so many good scripts, and then there's like a psychological thriller suspense, which is my favorite kind of movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm torn, but I have to look at the budget and the funding of
Gotcha.
everything, and then I have to look at the timing of it. And every time I'm about to direct Drained, I book something, and then I go, okay, we're going to shoot July, and then I book something. So it's kind of a good problem to have,
It is. Yeah. 'Cause you're always
but I feel like
working.
it makes me kind of look like it's not going to happen too. And I'm like, it's going to happen because, I'm at a point like that's really, really what I want to do is I love directing.
Mm-hmm.
I love directing. I love all of the whole dealing with distribution side of things.
Nice.
I love the business side of it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
One role you've done that it's a role that's been done a lot of times. You played Lilith in Devil's Heist, and like how did you approach playing her? Because like I said, like that role's been done a lot, and
I feel like the Lilith role is so different every time. I've actually played Lilith twice, two
oh
different,
really?
and they were written completely different. And the
Oh,
is I kind of came into both of them at the end of it when they were kind of like, who can we use for this? And I was brought in, and both of them, I'm like, those are two more of my favorite roles. Like they were so fun. So Lilith the Devil's Heist was crazy. Like I did not know any of these people,
mhm.
and I drove to like freaking Palm Desert, and and I walk in, and I've got the corset and the veins sticking out everywhere, and the thing is, she's a sexy character, but
Well, yeah, of course.
I instantly had great chemistry with the actor, which was Mike Ferguson, who's
Hmm.
doing a lot now. And
Oh
we've
yeah, he
worked
does a
together.
lot.
I can't even count how many films we've done together. Um, but I think we did like 5 films in a row almost together right afterwards because I came in and just opened the door and start yelling and screaming, and we're screaming in each other's faces, and I mean it just, again, I had no problem with it. And then it was like dead silent. Everybody was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
where
yeah.
did that come from? Because I came in and I demanded I was going to kill that role. And I was loud and I was yelling and screaming like I was supposed to be. And I mean, just crazy. And then the other time I played Lilith was a film in West Virginia. It's not out yet. And it was like a romantic comedy horror.
Really?
And so her name, they call her Horny, even though her
Oh
name's
my
Lilith.
God, are you serious?
They call her Horny for a reason.
Okay.
And one of the lines is like, that's not why they call me that, and I've constantly got like guys tied up to my bed, and shit like that. But
Nice.
but it's fun. It's funny. It's funny and cute, movie, but that one is almost done.
Okay.
The director wanted to put it out, but I came on as a producer, and I told him, I was like, we need some CGI in that. Like, we need a few cool tricks,
Yeah.
happening, because they're in hell. And
Okay.
funny thing is, we have cameos in that one, and Kevin Sorbo did a cameo.
Oh my God, really?
Jeremy London did a cameo. Felissa Rose did a cameo for it.
Okay.
Who else? Troy Froman, Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did a cameo. So and it's so funny because it's one of those where they're in the credits, and each character is in hell, and they're like, what I did to get, and so they're playing themselves of how they got to hell. So Felissa's like, you go to summer camp and you chop off a few dicks, you kill a few kids, and suddenly, I'm here. Like, I don't deserve to be here. It's them poking fun at themselves.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And even Captain Sorbo is Hercules, is poking fun at himself.
Oh my God.
So, like, the credits part with all of them, Jeremy's talking about being a twin. No, I wasn't on this movie. I was on this one. I mean, they're totally poking fun at themselves. Troy Froman is acting like he's got, like this sex thing going on, and he's got his bottle of lotion and whatever. And yeah, and then he turns the screen around and it's me in a swimsuit, one of my modeling pictures,
Oh,
watching on his, and the other one is Devaney Penn.
oh yeah,
It's just,
I know her. Yeah.
it's so funny. The credits, the end credits, I rewind and watch just the end credits because it's so damn
Oh
funny.
my God. I definitely have to see that. I
I mean,
definitely have to.
it's low budget, it's low to no budget, but the
Yeah.
the guy who did it, he's such a sweet guy. He's an amazing writer, and he's got another a couple. I mean, he's someone I'm continuing to work with. He's got a script called Blue Apples that I absolutely love.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I've done, now that we're talking, I'm like, I've done a lot of fun stuff that's not out yet. I
Yeah,
can't wait.
you definitely have. Yeah.
It's gonna be. I think people will definitely see me differently with all these come out because they're all different than stuff I did before.
And I see something else you got that's coming out too, and you've worked with a lot of other screen queens on it. Terror Tunes 4.
Yeah. So I was actually working crew on that,
Oh.
and the actress, there was a role that was a nurse, a creepy ass nurse, and she could not make it. And we had already talked about me being in it, Joe Castor and Steven Escobar, but they had already and they were using a lot of the same people they used before,
Mm-hmm.
or I didn't fit any roles, or they were cast up. And then also with Indiegogo, people will buy roles through Indiegogo and things
Yeah.
like that. They always have roles like that when we do fundraisers to fund films. But yeah, I mean, it's a very small role, but I play a creepy ass nurse, like creepy, like yeah. And Castro is such a master at the special effects, and he's worked on a lot of the stuff I've worked on. So
Okay.
and and that's, I think, the cool thing too is, like, all the special effects people I've worked with, 90% of them are like those big name special effects guys.
Nice.
There's a couple of them that are women. So I'm lucky that the films I'm in have some badass special effects.
I mean, yeah, especially something like Terror Tunes 4, it definitely has to have that.
Yeah, yeah, and it does. I mean, it does. And the girl that plays the main little actress, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm totally blank on her name right now. She is amazing. She is so talented. I think it was Trista Robinson was her name,
Okay.
but she killed it in her role. Like, she's one of those people that um, is older than she looks, so she's
Mm-hmm.
playing younger, and she looks appropriately that age, and she's just the whole innocence that she plays in it is just she's so good, she's so talented,
Wow.
and I've never worked with her before. So so yeah, and you know they're amazing. You know, Joe and Steven, they're so talented. You know, and they've been in this business a long time, so they know what they're doing.
Okay. And like what kind of songs do you like listening to? Like what's on your playlist?
I listen to everything, like everything. I you know again growing up in Texas, I grew up in country music. I mean, it's
Hmm.
like I know firsthand so many famous country western singers because I grew up around them.
Okay.
And my best friend married into a very famous family. And then a lot of them are just from the area. So back, you know, my college days, you know, I come from an area that had Western clubs, cowboy clubs, you know, and they all played that. And then at 19, you know, I met Dimebag and Vinny Pantera, and I went rock and roll and hung out with a lot of, you know, rock and rollers. So yeah, um, but I love all music. I mean, I really do. My normal playlist, honestly, you know,
Hmm.
back to the 80s again. I play a lot of 80s cardio.
Nice.
It's my station on Pandora is 80s cardio because it plays
Nice.
everything. And then, you know, I've got the hair metal.
Nice. Nice. That's
And
what
then
I like.
but then again, you know, if I like to drive around and just look at the water and go to the lake and stuff like that, I like playing the old country music that I grew up listening to.
Okay.
You know, it reminds me of driving around in the pickup truck with my dad, you know,
Here you
stuff like
go.
that. You know, but then, you know, there's the whole like, I love like Alien Ant Farm, you know, I mean, there's
Yes.
just you know, Buck Cherry, Papa Roach, like,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know, I mean, I rock out, and then I like some rap as well. You know, I sing rap all the time. My daughter, I'm like, I'm gonna blast Ludacris when I'm dropping you off, you know, or Lil Wayne, or you know, whatever. And she's like, Mom, please don't do it, please no. Yeah. So I listen to everything. I mean, I don't listen to opera,
Okay. There you go.
but you know, I listen to pretty much everything else. I'm gonna send a quick text
Yeah,
message. I'm sorry.
definitely.
Uh,
Definitely.
um, finishing. I have a dinner that he blah, 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 blah. He's gonna move the reservation a little bit. Okay.
Oh, well, I'll ask another couple questions and then I'll end it. I don't want you to be late for dinner.
No, we're yeah. He's gonna move the reservation. We're good. You'll just have to put up with me dinging and text him for a second here.
It's fine.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Okay. Move it. Thanks. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
worth the wait. Can I say no? Totally. I talk a lot of shit. A lot of shit.
yeah.
All
Um,
right. What else you got for me?
okay. Well, just wanted to ask you, like, what what do you have coming out that you would like to plug or talk about or give a mention to? And
Okay. Gosh. Let's see where to start. Um, I think Alien Danger is going to be the first Alien Danger, which I'm not in as much,
hmm.
and wardrobe is not the best in that one for me. Doesn't look great on me. But the first Alien Danger is coming out, I think, in August, later in August at
Okay.
Walmart. So that'll be out. It's just the creatures and stuff are fun. It's just silly fun. You know, it's silly fun for kids. It's very Sid and Marty Croft, Hanna Barbera. You know, it kind of reminds me of, you know, it's very trippy. I mean, I'm thinking James Basalmo probably has done a lot of acid in his life, you know. It's very trippy. So I think Alien Danger. And then the last Tommy Knockers, I just have, you know, a couple, two or three scenes in that. That's in
Okay.
the home. I don't know. I think, you know, and my character's kind of cheesy, you know, she kind of is It's like she should be scared of the Tommy knockers. Why is she, she's a prostitute. Why is she like having sex being killed, that kind of thing. So probably the last Tommy knockers. I'm really excited for Barry when it gets to the point of what's going to happen with distribution with that. Like I said, I'm super excited about that. Let's see, Clown Motel 2.
Oh,
That's
nice.
We had that premiere a week or two ago. I play a military person in that, so getting to play a different kind of role like that, and the editing made me look really good.
Nice.
I look
Nice.
like a badass. When we were doing it, I was like, I want to do the Wonder Woman, like jump off a rock and throw the punch, And then when I was in the theater and I saw it, it was like slow mo off the rock coming down. I was like, everybody in the theater went, yeah. I was like, yes. So, I got to do the Wonder Woman. So I'm excited.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's, it's just the point of all the distribution. And I'm
Hmm.
sure there's stuff I'm forgetting. I did a movie called Death Park that they told me today they're getting ready to do the premiere on that, and
Oh,
Robert Mutes is
nice.
on that as well. Um, so we got another one of our horror people, Robert Mutes.
Okay. Okay.
Death, Death Park 6, the final chapter. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff. Oh, Amityville Wolf, or
Amityville
Amityville,
Wolf? Oh,
Amityville,
Moon.
yeah, which I can't really say a lot about. The director's Thomas Churchill,
Okay.
um, several times, but it's badass. It's really
And
badass.
isn't
You know,
Tuesday nights in that, right?
yeah, Tuesday's in it.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
Tuesday. Mhm. Yeah, Tuesday's one of my friends too, and that's kind of the thing. All of us, who work in horror, like we all become friends because we work together and we see each other at the film festivals that our
Hmm.
films are in, horror conventions, and things like that, and some of the networking events. So we just get to like all know one another so well. And what's great, I feel like, is there's the group that are kind of catty, or maybe jealous or whatever, and then there's just like most of my group is just cool, like everybody supports one another, and
Okay.
the ones that are the catty bitches that we don't want to, we just kind of are nice and go our way. But it's the truth. It's how it is in the horror community with the women, and it
Yeah.
sucks, but it's like that. But Tuesday's not like that. Tuesday's awesome.
Yeah. No, she's really sweet. We actually did a interview with her about, I would say, a year ago.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
yeah, she was really sweet.
that girl can sing like mind blowing.
Oh, I know.
Is like, and her mom, I freaking love her mom. Tuesday, if you watch this, I might love her mom more than her. Like her mom is so freaking cool. So cool. She's got like the coolest mom on the planet. Like she's just awesome. She's
Okay.
Yeah. So you can see why Tuesday's so cool. She's got such a cool mom.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so there's a lot there. Like I said, there's just so much that kind of got halted with COVID.
Hmm.
And that, or, we went ahead and shot, but we had to, I did double duty. I played, COVID compliance officer and set medic,
Oh,
and,
wow.
or, and then I also acted, but I'm,
Wow.
I'm usually a supporting. So, but it's still a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a lot,
definitely.
because especially in the beginning when we were shooting during COVID, I'm constantly like, people weren't respecting me at all. I was like, you have to put your mask on. You've got to stay away. I have to wipe this down. Like it was very, very challenging. Now,
Oh
as we
my
did
God.
more film, those of us that kept filming together, we got the rules down. We knew the rules, the eating time and the smoke, people that smoke, there's just a whole having to have everything prepackaged. But
Mm.
it was really challenging because me working as a COVID compliance officer and being an actress, you know, And then it was the people that didn't know I was an actress and saw me only as the COVID compliance officer. And then they would see me switch to actress mode and they'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Who are you? You know, kind of thing. But people either love me or hate me. I mean,
Okay.
I COVID officer, I'm either so well respected and thanked because I can shut the production down. And
Mm-hmm.
I worked on a big Warner Brothers movie, was the first thing out the gate is COVID. We shut that production down and it has some of the biggest A-list actors on it.
Oh my
We shut
God.
3 times on that film. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. It was one of the first productions that opened back up.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
The thing is, then working on indie, I wasn't getting near the respect.
Well,
Near the
yeah.
respect. They're like, I'm trying to make a movie here. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm doing my job. I'm trying to keep everybody, you know, safe and healthy. You
Exactly.
know, then it
Exactly.
would be, you know, like make sure, you know, then I've things happen like, why am I first up in makeup when this is the day I got a COVID test the entire cast and crew?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I could be in makeup at 7 a.m. when I've got to test the entire cast and crew. I've got a COVID test. You know, there was stuff like that. So definitely challenging.
Wow. Yeah, I would definitely say so. That's crazy.
So,
Wow.
yep.
Okay. And where can fans find you at? Like what's your socials and all, and if you have a website and all that stuff.
So everything is simple. It's under my name, which is Sheri Davis. It's spelt differently. It's Sheri and then Davis. So one R and I. So everything I have, if you put, you know, I have a fan page on Facebook, Sheri Davis actress, and then I have my other page on Facebook, which is just, you know, Sheri Davis, but that one's usually more maxed out. It's a lot of like industry people and networking and stuff like that. And then let's see, my Instagram is Sheri.Davis. My Twitter is at the Sheri Davis. I have a website that I haven't messed with it in forever. I used to sell all my swag on there, my autographed photos and stuff, and it's just SheriDavis.com. So everything is literally under my name can be found.
Okay. Wow. You
And I'm
you
Sheri Davis too. I'm the second one on there. So really easy, difficult
yeah,
name to.
definitely. You definitely keep it very easy. So
Yeah.
it's very easy for fans to find you.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, you know, I don't want to hold you up any longer than I have. I know you got plans for dinner and all that stuff. So I want to thank you again for doing the interview and taking time out of your night for doing this.
Well, thank you. It's much later your time. It's still early here. I have daylight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is partly light from the windows being open. So yeah.
Okay.
So thank you for staying up late and interviewing me.
Definitely,
Let's
definitely. It was so much fun. Like you know, I could go on talking about horror all the time. So it
Yeah, I'm
was
sure we could
definitely
talk for.
fun.
Yeah. And Bowie, you can say bye.
Bye, Bowie. Bye,
Bowie said
Bowie.
I'm moving soon, so I've got to make sure I get all this little snuggle time in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah. She's like, leave me alone. I'm sleeping.
I know. Look at her face.
Yeah, tongue
She's
out. Say we're
yeah,
getting great
she's
tomorrow.
yawning.
Yes, I know. I know. Well, thank you for having me.
Definitely,
Appreciate
definitely.
it.
Yeah, definitely. You know,
Let
when
me know.
more films start coming out, would definitely love to
Yeah, let's
have you
talk
back
again.
on and talking
Yeah.
about the horror
I'll have to check
films.
some of my ridiculous, crazy roles out.
Exactly, exactly.
My crazy wardrobe. It's always, I never know. So thank you. Nice to see your face, actually, so I can put it all together too.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah. Okay, well, have a good night and thank you again.
Okay, and thank you again too.
And I'm going to check out those films.
Definitely Demon Wind and
Demon Wind.
Prom Night too.
Okay, I got it. Demon Wind. I got it. Okay, cool. All right. Well, have a good night.
All right, you too. Have a good dinner.
Bye bye.
Bye.